I have another Raspberry Pi, but this will be my last one. At least I'm pretty sure it's my last one. And this one is not in a case, so it's much more chance that I've broken it. Okay, so let's try. This one also has an SD card on it, so I don't have to do anything besides maybe just plug it into power. Where does power plug in? Oh, you don't. Okay, this is a Raspberry Pi 3. So you have a full HDMI and a micro USB for power? Yeah, okay, so I can power you with this. And then I need an actual HDMI, not an HDMI micro, which I have somewhere around here. I could take off this main screen to check out what it's on it. Maybe that's what I could do. So hold on, we're gonna go blank screen for a second. Yeah, because I just took that out of the screen capture. Okay, so then you're plugged in there. No signal. Cool. That's what I like to see. Let's try this again. All right, I unplugged and plugged it back in, but that doesn't seem to be doing anything. Okay, so Raspberry Pis are out of the question. I don't think I have another one. So that leaves us with I guess I could try the other micro USB card with this one. Okay, so plug in you. Plug in. You're plugged in. What if I unplug all of you? And then power goes in. Okay. Now I can't read any of chat because nothing's on. Okay, so yeah, failed to open device, even with a different micro SD card, which means the hardware's bad. And it's the actual device itself trying to boot up to read it. So that's unfortunate. Now, it's been years since I've touched these. They've just been sitting in desks. So that's probably what's going on there. Okay, so that's not going to work. Let me re-plug in all of this stuff. My desk is now a disaster. I'm going to have to clean this up after stream. The first time I plug it in to the capture device, it always comes in as the wrong resolution, which is not great. Is that better? No, this still feels pretty low. Let me just power down, power you back up again. That's better. And then for you, where's my, there we go. And now we're back. So that was a fun little adventure that didn't lead anywhere. So if I want more, I need to repair my old Linux laptop has a bad disk drive. I need to replace that. Then I can use it for this type of stuff. So maybe I will set up a quick VPC, or we can do a DigitalOcean VPS. Yeah, let's set up a quick VPS somewhere. DigitalOcean is good for this type of stuff. And I still have I have my account on it, but it's been since the DigitalOcean course that I've logged into it. Okay, there we go. Find my see my DigitalOcean droplet one. That's not the same thing. Maybe it's this one. I have multiple YubiKeys now, and I never remember which ones I use for which things. And oh, you didn't reset. Oh, there you go. I do have you on this. Okay, there we go. I don't have any droplets because let's see, for a long time. So 41 notifications. Okay, so I just want a new droplet. Ooh, starting at $4 per month now. Nice. They've dropped the prices by $1. San Francisco is fine. They don't have any data centers closer to me. Let's go with Ubuntu, because I want to bet that most people are using Ubuntu. And everybody else who's not using Ubuntu knows exactly what they're doing, right? Right? Okay, latest version. Oh no, Hugh, what happened? Let's see. Would it be easier to spin up a test container? So what is test container? I've never used that before. Is that a full VPS? I could take a look at it later and check it out. What we want to do it now is I want to set up for Docker engine itself and not just containers type stuff. Okay, so I want the regular $4 a month one. No need for additional storage. Don't enable a backup plan. Oh, SSH key. I need to create a new SSH key. Let me open up iTerm to do this over here. So, okay, this is going to be... Okay, so I created that. CD into... is that the right... Okay, that is the right permissions. So if I... Okay, copy that. Throw you into here. So stream Mac. Okay, I want to use that. Don't add all the other things. I just want one. Give it that host name. Sure. Okay. I guess tags will be stream and Docker. Create the droplet. All right, so that's creating. Okay, all that's set up. Let's see. Are you done? Okay, I think you're set up. So I should be able to... SSH into you. All right, so this is gonna be what? DigitalOcean droplet? Call it droplet. I want to SSH I for the identity file. This is in my .ssh, ID, RSA, my DigitalOcean. I use the private one, right? Yeah, I use the private one, and I gave them the public one, and then I want to go to what user? Is it root or is it Ubuntu? I'm gonna guess it's Ubuntu at that. Root. Oh, and then I need to enter that in. Okay, and here you go. We are connected in to a droplet as root, which is cool. So I guess the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to create a user, because we want to, whenever we're connected into a droplet, we want to, we're going to be using this as a user anyways. Please just don't be root all the time. It's not good for our health. So is it add user or user add? Add user. I always go back and, because I'm doing like different ones all the time. Add a normal user. I don't need to control the UID or the first UID or the last UID or the GID. So, okay, let's just add user. We'll call this test Docker. Or maybe we'll call it secure Docker. And I think that's going to be it. New password for this. Okay, so we now have a user. Let's go ahead and switch over to this user. Did I not do that correctly? I thought oh, it's secure Docker. Okay, there we go. We are now secure Docker, and we shouldn't have any capabilities beyond just a normal user, which is great. Now, Docker doesn't exist, but we can install it. But we want to install it with the engine. And then we're going to do some playing around with it. And I'll probably create a snapshot of this image. So if we screw up, we can just restore it. We'll be good to go right away. Okay, so Docker engine. Visit manuals. Install. There you go. Install on Ubuntu. We don't have an old version, so we don't need to do that. We can use the apt repository. Okay, so I want to sudo apt-get update, and then we want to install the certificates. Then I want to install keyrings. We want to curl to download from docker.com. Okay. And then chmod that. All right. That's to install their GPG key. So let's do it exactly as they suggest. Oh, right. Of course, the password I just set up. And I'm not in the sudoers file. So I need to be in a sudoers file, or can I, do I want to do this as root? Should I do this as root, or should I actually add myself to the sudoers file? I should add myself to the sudoers file. Because in Ubuntu, by default, your user is in a sudoers file for everything, right? What is it? Vi sudo? Something like that. Oh, I can't do that. Vi sudo and okay, user privilege specification. Oh, this is nano. I'm trying to use vim commands on it. Allow members of group sudo to execute any commands. Oh, okay. I can actually just add that user to the group sudo. I don't have to update the sudoers file. No, don't save. So what would that be? That would be group, I think. Or is it group add? Options group. Isn't there like a user? This is a user list of user members of the group. Oh, this just creates a group, doesn't it? This doesn't add is it chug group? Change group ownership. Change the group of each file to group. I forget how to add. Is it? Oh, I use add user to add it. Oh, I thought there was another command for after you've added the user. Oh, add or manipulate users or groups. That's what it is. Okay. So it's dash dash. No, add user. Yeah, so you're add user, username, new group. Okay. Let's try that. So add user. Oh, but I am as root now. So add user, secure Docker, sudo. Okay. Back to here. Now we try our sudo command. So if I do a sudo ls, you want this password again. And now that works. Okay. So now I can sudo. Nope. I want that. Nope. Thank you for that, Hugh. Okay, so what was I doing again? Oh, right. I was running this command. Okay, so then when that's done, we're gonna now do echo deb the architecture, figure out what the architecture is, throw it into here, do its thing, and then sudo apt-get update. So sure, go ahead and restart that service. Then run that. And now I'll install the latest one. So now it's going to be this one. So sudo apt-get install. Go ahead and do that. Verify the Docker engine has been successfully installed so we could run that hello world. Or I could just do something else, but sure, we'll run that. We'll run that one. And there we go. Okay, everything is working. We're all happy. Excellent. So that being said now, if I want to run anything, so if I do like Docker images, I can't do that unless I do sudo Docker images. So now that we've got this, time for me to take a snapshot of the system. Wait, do I need to enable backups to take a snapshot? Okay. Snapshots. Okay, there it is. Yeah, it's going to cost me a little tiny bit of money, but it's not going to be that much. So snapshot name, this is going to be Docker test with I guess like installed Docker. When this is done, we're going to be able to be much more sort of like, if we screw it up, we can just reinstall the snapshot and we're good to go. Almost done. There it goes. Snapshot is created. And we're ready to play around with this. So, a couple things here. I probably should have read this first. This is the, nope, that's the user namespaces, blog post. Run it as non-root user. I probably should have looked at this first before we installed it. Rootless mode allows running the Docker daemon and containers as a non-root user to mitigate potential vulnerabilities in the daemon and the container runtime. Rootless mode does not require root privileges even during the installation of the Docker daemon, as long as the prerequisites are met. Okay, so I can't do this anymore because you have to do this at install time. So maybe we'll try this one afterwards. Okay, so these would be the concerns, and then we have our mitigations. Or maybe I should just, instead of mitigations, I don't know if most people would like think about that way. It's like, what can we do? So obviously there is the very basics, just add the user to the Docker group, I think. That would then allow the user to run Docker without sudo, which like basically has a lot of these security concerns up here. We just accept all of them as security concerns. That's an idea. Remove Docker privileges for the kernel. And then okay, so then that's something else we can do. And I feel that I can change this to now be objectives. And okay, so we can, oh, wait, nope, change. Describe. Describe why running Docker without sudo is dangerous. Root in Docker container doesn't have. Okay, so but this one does have this as like the allow list, right? So this might be like remove capabilities from Docker container. Remove. Oh, this is not just remove capabilities, remove kernel. Do they call them capabilities? What do they call them? They are capabilities. So remove kernel capabilities from Docker from the root Docker user. Then let's see. Set the root container user to map to a non-root host user. Okay. What are the dangers of running Docker with sudo? We can just write this really quickly. Oh, and then something else that we can do here is install Docker as a non-root user. Since Docker is a is installed as root by default, what's a word for like it's not disabled, but like it's partially disabled. like something like it's not fully disabled, but it's not fully enabled. It's something in between there. Would allow them to access much more than we think that they would. I think so, because Docker's running as root. So this could allow malicious code to use Docker to do like it's I'm trying to like imagine, I guess, like to do the following or worse. So the following or worse could be mount your home directory into a container and run malicious code on it. Mount the root directory into a container and delete it. What else could they do? That's like really, 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 really bad. download a Docker image with a with malicious. I guess download a malicious Docker image. So like those are the three things I can think of right off the bat. And they're pretty bad. Essentially your computer is compromised and needs to be rebuilt. All right, ad break in 5 minutes. Okay, so that would be describe why running Docker without sudo is dangerous. It's not cool. So next would be remove kernel capabilities from the root Docker container user. So this will be next. And we need to figure out how to do this. Which I believe this says how to do that. Okay, we have to create a non-default profile. Okay, so we have to have Docker profiles. Saneth, hello. How are you doing today? Now that's compose profiles. I want compose profiles. I want Docker engine profile. Your exam went great today, so you're on top of the world. Excellent. Good job. I have no idea. Oh, but we can do this. Okay, so we can run this command to see if our kernel supports this. Because if it doesn't, then we're going to have to assume that we're not. Oh, why? Okay, so it is set with this. Is that the same one that we see? Default JSON. No, wait, this is defaults to Go. What's this one? Oh, interesting. This is much more. Oh, these are all the commands and everything else is allowed to do. Okay, this is much better to look at. The best thing is not that the exam ended, but the fact that I can finally find myself the time to work on your personal project. Excellent. It is. I do remember after exams were over, this like feeling of a weight lifting from our shoulders, that all of that stress, all of that other stuff is done, and now we can just do whatever we want, even if it's nothing. It doesn't matter because we have no oh, what's the right word for it? We have no requirements. We have no things like taking up our time that we have to do. In effect, a profile is an allow list which denies access to system calls by default. Then allow list specific system calls. The profile works by defining a default action of SCMP act error no and overriding that action for only specific system calls. The effect of SCMP act error no is to cause a permission denied error. Oh, ad break just started. I will probably work through this one, and I'll be since we're just reading this and figuring it out. The effect of SMP act error no is to cause a permission denied error. Okay, next the profile defines a specific list of system calls which are fully allowed. Because our action is overridden to be SCMP act allow, finally, some specific rules are for individual system calls such as personality, and others to allow variants of the system calls with specific arguments. Yeah, don't change the default profile, just create a new one. Exactly, for real, for real. Assignments and exams take so much of your time. They really do. I know a lot of people will say things like, oh, work in college, like college is preparing you for work, but there is a big difference things because there's no exams in real life. There's just like day to day. It's just basically all the stuff between exams. I really got to learn Docker and Kafka, man. I was procrastinating on it. Well, hey, now you have time, right? When you run a container, it uses the default profile unless you override it with the security option. For example, the following explicitly specifies a policy. Cool, okay, and it's really just going to be profile.json. Okay, and so here's all the calls that are blocked because they're not on the explicit add, like explicit allow list. So like clock adjust time or the set time. But if we take a look at this, I bet that clock is this, wait. Now I'm confused. Why is that in there? Allow. Wait. Okay, now I'm confused because the documentation explicitly says that clock adjust time is not allowed. But this thing here says that it is allowed. Okay, this is a smaller one. Work is basically exam every day. Also, college preparing you for work is bullshit. Pretty sure I don't have to know about heck and chemistry and biology classes we had in our first year. Yeah, there's a lot of things about college which are good and not good. Especially for like preparing us for the day-to-day work. Like there's a lot of things that they just don't teach that they should, and a lot of things that they do teach that they don't need to. And then there's the entire argument of like, do they even teach it properly? Or is it more of like the people who come in with pre-existing knowledge are the ones who actually come out with good knowledge? Oh, that's interesting. They included biology and a computer science degree course. Interesting. Okay, so these are syscalls. Default action, error. Okay. Architecture map, syscalls, and we have all these names of syscalls. Action, allow. So I'm really confused now as to what I believe. Like what am I supposed to believe? And is there a way for me to test this? Because clock adjust time. Okay, maybe we can do this. Let's see. Change directory, chmod shown. We could chmod something from inside a Docker container. Makedir. Okay, we could also remove makedir. Maybe that would be something we can do. Only things my college nail is the alumni network, campus placements, and including seminars for activities, which does help in real world when it comes to improving our speaking skills. That's really good. And the network thing is always really good. Like a college that doesn't do a good network is not worth it. Unless they're like really cheap and you're just going there for information. But colleges are so expensive now, at least in the US. Okay, so we want to create a brand new profile. Are you going to explain how to do that? Don't do this. Ever. That's a terrible idea.